I know my wife, and I know she wants something big. Susan is dressed in her sexiest outfit, a tight red dress with a plunging neck and a short hemline. She has accessorized it with jewelry meant to accentuate her incredible natural beauty, but also meant to highlight our shared past. A brooch I gave her on our 15th anniversary, a necklace from her third Mother's Day, earrings I gifted her on our honeymoon. Her high heels complement long, fishnet-clad legs. She's cooked my favorite dinner, and she has waited on me hand and foot since I came through the door. These are beyond the usual lengths she goes to when she wants something from me. I've tried to be a generous husband, but I'm not made of money. I've worked as a personal injury attorney in private practice for most of my career, and while that has allowed our family a certain level of comfort, there are still limits. This level of effort means that she is asking for something far beyond those limits. I know my wife, and I know that what she wants is far more than we can afford. Susan was able to stay home and raise our 2 children, who are now out of the house and away at college. She's been a good wife and mother. She's a wonderful cook, has tried to stay fit and trim, is generous in bed, was always first to volunteer at the kids' schools, and makes me feel loved and appreciated. Over the years, though, she has tried numerous things to alleviate the boredom of being a stay-at-home mom: bird watching, makeup sales, writing, and many more. When she has wanted to try a particularly expensive hobby, she would put the full court press on, much like she is now. When Susan expressed her desire to re-enter the workforce after the children left home, I readily supported her. Finally, she'd be contributing financially instead of just spending. However, it's been 2 years since she resumed working, longer than her usual hobby-hopping stint. It was only a matter of time before she'd tire of it and move on to something new. This change was long overdue. I know Susan well, and I'm familiar with her pattern of adopting new obsessions. As we sit down for dinner and chat about my day, it's all part of the routine. Trying to get her to what she really wants will only ruin a nice dinner, because she thinks she has this process down to a science. She read a book on negotiation during her self-improvement phase, a hobby that lasted a blessedly short amount of time. She believes that holding to a rigid timetable and only giving information when she wants to is the key to getting what she wants. It's not a bad strategy, but she's used it so often that I can see all of her plays from a mile away. After dinner, she cleans up and asks me to sit with her in the living room. I sit in my chair, and she stands, as usual. She wants to give an impassioned defense of whatever wild hair she's off on, so she wants the ability to range about the room. She will make her case, telling me how happy this will make her. She'll offer something in exchange: new golf clubs, promises of financial return, and indulgence of time and money for one of my pet projects, something she feels is of commensurate value. If I accept, she will fall in my lap and ask me to take her to bed, promising sexual delights as an additional reward, usually scaling in value with whatever she's gotten. If I say no, I can expect an icy bedroom for weeks or months, and she may try to go behind my back then ask forgiveness later. Over the years, it's been easier to simply say yes, knowing she'll get bored before sinking too much into her temporary mania. I know my wife, and I know she's trying hard for an easy yes. Susan begins to talk about her work. She's enjoyed working there, but there's a new young manager that has taken particular interest in her. At first, I nod along, thinking she means that he wants to mentor her, or that she's bucking for a promotion. I know that this will mean longer hours, and I expect that she's angling to cut back on her responsibilities at home. Then I realize she's no longer talking about her job. She's talking about the manager. He's from a wealthy family. He's handsome, well-traveled, and athletic. He has leveraged his family name and business acumen to rise through the ranks quickly at her place of work. She had trained him not long after she started, and now he's her boss. She speaks at length about him and only of positive qualities. I know my wife, and I know what her new obsession is. Susan tells me that they've become close. She says that she had not mentioned him previously because she rarely talked about her work at all. As she talks about him, I remember seeing him once at a Christmas party. He came over and said hello to both of us. He seemed very friendly towards her, but quickly melted back into the crowd, and I thought nothing of it. He has been flirting with her. At first, she took it as simple office flirting, or that of a young man being cheeky with an older co-worker. But it wasn't. He's had his eyes on her for some time, and he's recently told her his intentions. He goes on a personal weekend retreat to a tropical island every year, and he wants to take her. Not us, her. She wants to go, and she wants a hall pass. I know my wife, and I know that I'm watching the end of my marriage in slow motion. Susan sees my face grow stony and starts in on the hard sell. She was a virgin when we married, and she wants to know what it's like to be with another man. He's a gentleman. It will be our little secret, and no one else will ever know. It'll only be this one time. She loves me, and nothing will change that. It will be an adventure for both of us. She will come home re-energized and drown me in affection. It has nothing to do with me. It's only sex. If I love her, I'll let her have this. She can tell it's not working. She moves on to the bargaining stage. I can have my own hall pass. No, 2 of them. No, an unlimited one. She'll let me get that boat I had wanted. He promises to purchase it for me. He'll arrange a separate getaway with a supportive friend. He assures me of boosting both my career and hers. She pledges to fulfill any sexual desire of mine for the rest of our lives, never refusing me anything in or out of the bedroom. Yet, I express my desire for a faithful spouse. Knowing my wife well, I understand she is unswayable. Susan insists she's being faithful by seeking my approval rather than cheating behind my back. She wants a hall pass because she wants to stay faithful. She wants to give me a hall pass so that we can each have new experiences while staying faithful. She's asking so that she doesn't have to cheat. I say that she doesn't have to cheat at all. She just wants to. She gets angry. She calls me a hypocrite because I had slept with others before her, as if our vows didn't matter. She calls me selfish because she spent decades of her life on me and our family while I got to have a career, as if I was fortunate to work long hours at a job I didn't enjoy. She calls me old-fashioned because I will not open our marriage, as if fidelity is simply a trend that goes in and out of style. I sit, impassive, as she vents her spleen. I know my wife, and I know she won't let this go. Susan finally winds down. I tell her that I can't stop her. I know that she will decide to go behind my back as she has before when a new obsession has so totally occupied her mind. I tell her that asking for permission without caring if it's granted is still cheating, and that I don't grant my permission. I tell her that if she leaves with him, she should not return. She will not be welcome. She glowers at me but says nothing. She turns on her heel, ascends the stairs, and locks our bedroom door. My shoulders slump. I've already started to grieve, and there's nothing useful to do right now, so I'm stuck alone with my thoughts. There is no outlet for my anger and sadness yet. I go to the spare bedroom, change out of my clothes, and climb under the covers, tossing and turning for the rest of the night. I know my wife, and I know that I won't sleep easily tonight. Susan is gone by the time I wake. Her suitcase is gone. Her warm weather clothes are gone. Her phone is not. It lays charging on the bedside table. I will not be able to contact her even if I wanted to. She has left me a note under it, telling me that I'll change my mind once I've had time to think. She explains that she will return Monday evening. She writes that she loves me and hopes that while she is gone, I will take advantage of my hall pass, the one I told her that I did not accept and do not want. She hopes that I will reclaim her when she returns. She mistakenly thinks that she will still be a valuable treasure I wish to see returned. Instead of trash I'd sooner be rid of. Her confusion is understandable. She was, until now, my greatest treasure, but not anymore. She is on a plane, and I am here. It is Friday morning. I set an out-of-office message, as there is more important work to be done. I had no outlet for my emotions last night, but now I have nothing but time on my hands and rage in my heart. I call an old friend and set the legal wheels in motion. He begins to draft divorce papers. I send him a copy of our prenuptial agreement, which notably has an adultery clause, along with the details of our assets. I urge him to be fair, acknowledging she's the mother of my children, but not overly generous. Considering our asset arrangement and prenuptial agreement, fairness should come naturally. Knowing my wife's disregard for legal matters, this should be straightforward. Susan maintained a tidy home, her forte. Over the weekend, gathering her belongings and storing them away is effortless. As soon as she opens the door, I want her to grasp that this isn't her home anymore. The physical activity of packing and organizing provides a sense of control amidst the turmoil. It consumes the weekend, leaving me drained enough to find some rest at night. On Monday morning, I prepare for the confrontation to come. I call our children and inform them what is about to happen. I keep the details somewhat vague, but they know that their mother has chosen to cheat on me after trying to force me to open our marriage. They're smart kids. They know me, and they know that there is no dissuading me from my course. I cry with them and tell them I love them. At least she hasn't poisoned this. I call our closest friends and they are shocked. I call my parents and they are supportive. I call her parents, and they are aghast. I know my wife, and I know that no one is on her side. Susan's plane will land soon. My friend burned the midnight oil as a favor to me and worked through the weekend. He has given me a copy of the papers in a plain but unmistakable manila envelope. I have chosen to not have her served at the airport. It is not out of any loyalty. I hope that she is embarrassed. I hope that she does feel shamed by her actions. I have made sure that the game of telephone has begun amongst our social circle, after all. Her phone, now on the entryway table, is filled with texts and voicemails condemning her. I did not have her served at the airport, because I want to see her face when she realizes what her weekend has cost her. I am not normally a cruel man. Perhaps my soon-to-be ex-wife has mistaken my kindness for weakness. Perhaps she has seen my generosity as a lack of will. But even a kind man can be driven to cruelty. Even a generous man can put his foot down and say, No more. I know my wife, and I know that she will soon be far less comfortable than she is accustomed to. Susan opens the door with a broad, relaxed smile on her face. She's undeniably stunning, and for a fleeting moment, I'm struck by a twinge of remorse for what's unfolding. But then reality sets in. I remind myself it's not about to happen. It already has. She's betrayed our vows, opting for him over me, willingly discarding our shared life despite my warnings of the repercussions. Her expression freezes as she enters our living room, taking a moment to register the changes. There's a palpable absence, a void where cherished belongings once stood, the crystal vase that held her birthday and anniversary flowers, our wedding portrait, mementos from our travels, and so much more. But far more painfully, there is an absence of love. Even when we had fought, even when I was angry with her, there was always love. But not now. I do not rush to greet her. There is no fondness in my manner. I do not say hello. And I am holding the unmistakable manila envelope, the one that will show her exactly how little she will have when we've gone our separate ways. I know my wife, and I know that she is afraid. Susan's eyes grow wide. She begins to protest, to beg, to cry. I am impassive. She recycles all of the arguments she made before she left. The ones about how it was just sex, about her love for me, about how she'll do anything for me. I am uncaring. She tries to reminisce about our marriage, our children, our shared life. I am enraged. I rise to my feet, anger barely contained. I hiss through my teeth that I was the one that remembered those things, not her. I valued those things. She did not. I begged her not to throw them away, to not go with him. But she blithely, selfishly refused. They had been the best parts of my life, and now she was trying to use their memory as bargaining chips. I tell her that she disgusts me. I know my wife, and I know that she finally understands that she has ended us. Susan begins to storm about now. She tells me that I can't do this to her, that I can't take her life from her, that this is her home, that I have no right, that she supported me, that she raised our children, that I begin to tune her out. She eventually runs out of steam, finally collapsing on the couch and crying with great, heaving sobs. I am not a cruel man, and it is time to grant her mercy with a final stroke to end her futile histrionics. I didn't take this from you. You threw it away. There's nothing for you here anymore. Now go. I know my wife. Now, finally, for the first time, I think she truly knows me. Second story, I texted my cheating ex and I feel so dumb. My ex and I were together for 3 years until our breakup last July. I discovered his infidelity several times. Texting other girls, snapping them, sliding into DMs on Instagram, and even denying he had a girlfriend while engaging in sexting. This was a deal breaker for me. Now, I find myself at that stage of the breakup where I can only recall the good times. In December, I started dating someone new, but I made it clear from the beginning that I wasn't ready for commitment or anything serious. However, over the weekend, he confessed his love for me, leaving me feeling hollow inside. I promptly ended things, unable to reciprocate his feelings. This triggered a flood of emotions, reminding me of how much I once loved my ex. With Valentine's Day passing recently, I couldn't help but feel the absence of my ex and the life we shared. I reached out to him, hoping he felt the same way I did. But to my dismay, I received no response. I feel foolish and embarrassed. I shouldn't be chasing after someone who didn't treat me right. Yet I can't help feeling shattered. I'm also taken aback by his lack of reply. I'm not sure why I'm sharing this. I don't necessarily need advice. Maybe I just needed to vent. I don't know. Third story, what to do next about leaving. My fiancé and I have hit a rough patch. Recently, I discovered he was emotionally cheating on me with a coworker. We've been living together, and I work from home, providing some context to our situation. Our relationship spans 8 years. When he expressed a desire to break up, I agreed to move back to my mom's temporarily and discuss the division of our belongings later. However, throughout this time, he continued to text me, expressing how much he missed me and wanted me back, treating it more like a break than a breakup. Today, while working from our apartment, I found evidence indicating he had her over and engaged in sexual activity in our home. We have plans to have dinner together tomorrow, and he's completely unaware of what I've discovered. Initially, I plan to act normal during dinner to ensure I have a chance to return to our apartment afterward. However, I'm unsure of the best way to confront him about my findings and officially end things. Should I ask him to leave? Additionally, how much time should I give him to gather his belongings and move out so we can terminate our lease? Thanks for joining us on this chapter of Relation Tales. If you were moved by these stories, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Don't miss out on the upcoming emotional roller coaster of relationships. Your support means the world, and we can't wait to share more compelling tales with you. Until next time, remember, every relationship has a story worth telling. See you soon.